21 cycles. Tonight he is going to give a speech on project number 7 of 10, which is about researching your topic. He researched the topic and has collected information from multiple sources. He'll tell us about it, make it interesting so that we will share the knowledge with him. He has many passions outside of Toastmasters, including his wife, his old movies, science fiction, and history. Tonight he will be sharing some research he has done regarding history. The speech title is 272 Words. 272 words. Alan Mann, 272 words.
It was only 272 words, but it has been immortalized as one of the greatest speeches, American speeches in history. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. I am talking about the Gettysburg Address. What I am doing this evening, I'm going to take you back to 1863. If it was what it was like then, there at the address, and tell you some tidbits about this special speech. July 1 through July 3rd, 1863. The Confederate forces, led by Robert E. Lee, clashed with the Army of the Potomac in the fields and hills of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania. This was the bloodiest war, the bloodiest battle of the Civil War. Result absolute carnage on both sides. The Confederates retreated, never again to make a thrust into the north. The individuals who lived around Gettysburg had to do something about all the dead bodies, the carnage. There were dead bodies, Confederate, Union soldiers, horses. And an attorney by the name of David Wills led a group of citizens to dedicate a national cemetery to the Union soldiers who had fallen at that battle. And notable individuals were invited to the dedication of this national cemetery. The keynote speaker, the whole event was built around, was by a gentleman by the name of Edward Everett, one of the great orators of that time, former Secretary of State. Congressmen, senators, governors, and they invited Abraham Lincoln to come and say a few words. He had sort of the role like the mayor does at an opening of a business, this sort of ribbon cutting. He wasn't a key speaker at the event. I said, say a few words. At the event, Edward Everett spoke for over 2 hours. This was what the great orators of that time did. He spoke for a long period of time. And then came Abraham Lincoln's time to speak. I'm going to read this passage. There's a very good book on Abraham Lincoln. It's titled With Malice Toward None, The Life of Abraham Lincoln by Stephen Oates. It's a very easy, it's long, but it's a very easy read, an interesting read about Lincoln. And this kind of sort of gives you an idea of what it was like at that dedication. In his orientation, Everett described the 3-day battle with cadence, gestures, and drew lessons from European history from where he sat. From where he sat, we could see coffins lying in the surrounding fields. He could also see skeletons of army horses, and in the distance, trees that had been decimated in open areas. And you also see souvenir hunters, still, even at that event, prowling over the field. He shifted in his chair after Edward spoke, took his manuscript from his pocket, from his coat pocket, and put it on as Everett sat down. The president unwound himself, stepped to the front of the platform, and recited in a high and singing voice his hymn to the Union dead. The purpose Lincoln had for this speech was to remind everyone why we're fighting this war, the importance of war. Not just to preserve the Union. People think that when the Civil War was over slavery, it was to preserve the Union, a clash between two cultures, North and South, an industrial North and an agricultural South. State rights versus the rights of federal government. And in his speech, Lincoln dedicated and reminded us to rededicate ourselves to the principles of the founding fathers. Now there's 5 copies, actually 5 variations, minor variations of the speech. And it's not known exactly which one Lincoln actually read, because at that time they did not have YouTube or any other recording. But like all speeches and all political activities, there was some discussion about whether it was a good speech or not. The Chicago Tribune, the disciplinary remarks of the president will live among the annals of man. The Chicago Times, the cheeks of every American must tingle with the shame as he read the silly, flat, and dish-watery utterance. The most interesting response came from Edward Everett himself in a letter to Lincoln. I wish that I could flatter myself that I had come as near to the central idea of the occasion in 2 hours as you did in 2 minutes. The most interesting thing about the speech is, in August of 1963, was come forward 100 years, a gentleman by the name of Martin Luther King spoke on the Lincoln Memorial. And although he did not recite the Gettysburg Address, a lot of his themes of the speech were the same: all men created equal. Same theme as Martin Luther King. Lincoln's speech, the Gettysburg Address, lives forever here in America and the world. Our gift to the world.
Great job. Thank you, Al.